What are we doing? We're doing episode 49 of the Odd G's Pod, Harry. That's what we're doing. We are live. You good?
Yeah, I'm good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You just said to me literally 28 seconds ago, what are we doing? I said, we're going live.
I haven't heard from you in so long. Like, you went dark and, I text you stuff. I don't get responses. And then all of a sudden you show up yesterday out of nowhere saying, hey, what's your schedule like for tomorrow? And I'm like,
yeah.
What do you want from me?
Your schedule is what I want.
I'm doing stuff every day. I don't disappear.
Yeah, I've been on a COVID protocol, Harry.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Enough of this shit. It's been like a roller coaster of dog shit. I was getting better, and then I fucking hit another dip in the roller coaster ride.
Okay, now this is allegedly the first time that you've had the COVID
that I'm aware of. Yeah,
but you've been sick periodically for like the last 6 months.
Yeah, the RSV.
Yeah,
RSV. Yeah, it's been a fucking whirlwind over here. I mean, mentally, I'm not in a good spot. I'll tell you.
It's you and also Jeff Moore, who I do the Swing It and Ding It podcast with.
That's Moose.
Week. He has been the same thing. He's got a sinus infection. He's got the RSV. He's got COVID. Like every 2 weeks, it's something else.
Yeah. Why does he have kids?
Yes.
There you go.
He's got a very young daughter.
Yeah. There's the common denominator.
Is that what you're blaming it on the kids?
Well, yeah. When in doubt.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is they go to school and they bring home all the shit with them.
Right.
And then you end up sick. They end up getting it for like 68 seconds because they're kids and they can fight anything off.
Right.
At 51, almost 51, everything that comes into my house, I get and have to endure.
So you basically got the immune system of Coach Camille.
At this point, I think so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. That's not a good thing.
No, it's not something I was striving for, Harry.
No, that's not good.
I'll tell you that right now. It wasn't something I was looking to do. I wasn't looking to emulate Coach Camille's immune system.
You're not putting that in your bio that you're going to send to Colin Thompson in a couple
I might have
hours.
to. Full transparency in the bio. Newly acquired shit Coach Camille immune system.
Regularly under the weather.
Yeah. Yes. I feel like I'm sick constantly. And it's fucking debilitating. It's like, Jesus Christ, you just want to have some fucking energy and you can't.
Yeah. Yeah, you've been kind of low T here for a while.
Yeah, I'm not liking it.
You're kind of like Al Michaels.
Yeah, kind of checked out.
That broadcast that he did with Tony Dungy a week or so ago, that was awful. Oh, God, was that terrible.
Yeah, he's done.
He's cooked. He's been cooked.
Yeah.
I've been trying to tell people.
Yeah, we didn't want to hear it, though. We didn't want to believe it, Harry.
Yeah, I mean, he's a legend. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It's not going to erase any of the great broadcasting he's done in the past, but he's done.
Yeah, he's totally cooked. I mean, sometimes you just don't want to believe it.
Right. Well, it's because these networks keep, putting big checks in front of these guys. I can't blame them. It's like, wait a second. You want to pay me X amount of millions of dollars to do how many games?
Yeah.
And I'm going to work with this guy now, Kirk Herbstreit. Yeah, I'll do that. Sure. You're going to give me the money. I'll do it.
There's been a lot of outrage over Tony Romo lately, too.
He hasn't been – he's kind of regressed is the right word, I think. Like, I've noticed it, too, because I was a huge fan of him right at the start and for a while. But this year has been different. Like, he's almost like just – freewheeling, like he's, you know what I mean? Like he's just out there talking, like he's not predicting plays anymore. I don't know if they told him to back off on that. If they did, I don't know why, because that was great. And now he's just sort of talking. Well, they're going to go for it here, Jim. Oh, second thought. No, they're not. He's just like.
He's not getting the same level of information.
Yeah, he's like vamping, and Nance is sort of just letting him go.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's not as good.
Yeah, the predicting of the plays was great when he was right.
Yeah.
But now that maybe they don't want to give him that information anymore.
Well, I mean, who was giving him the information? I mean, he was studying film and seeing the formations and knowing the down and distance and all, that kind of stuff. And he was saying, well, if I'm the quarterback here, I'm going to go to this guy in this defensive alignment.
But maybe he's getting less from the coaches and the coordinators too.
Maybe
in his meetings leading into a game.
But he's not been as good. He's regressed.
Is the shine worn off his star a little bit already?
I think it is.
Wow, it's a good thing he got that contract done prior.
I know. Well, he reset the bar for everybody. I think he was
made
the
everybody
guy.
a lot of money. Yeah,
yeah. And now Tom Brady's going to make a ton of money when he decides to finally hang it up, which he should. I think he should retire.
I agree.
I don't like telling people when to quit, but I think he should quit.
Yeah. Do you think he'd be a good broadcaster?
I don't really know. I mean, I think I don't know if he'd be. I think he'd be more polished than a Romo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not a little more conventional, probably too.
Probably, yeah. I don't know if he's going to take people to task. A lot of times, these former players don't want to do that. But anything's better than Drew Brees. He was god awful.
He's hideous. Yeah.
And who was the tight end for Dallas that did Monday Night Football for a year?
Witten.
Yeah, Jason Witten. He was terrible.
Yeah. Remember he came in with a hairpiece and then came out with. I was like, come on, dude, make up. And then he went back and played.
Yeah, he did. I think he was a great player.
Yeah, he was. He was a very good player.
Yeah, great player, but man, he was brutal.
Yeah, he was terrible as an announcer. I just saw the video the other day. Remember Sergio Dip?
Yeah, the dude that wasn't that at a Super Bowl?
Yeah,
I think he was like down on the field as like a field reporter.
He's a sideline reporter. Yeah,
was it one of the Latin networks or something? Because he was a Hispanic guy, right?
Yeah,
Latin guy.
Having the time of my life.
Time of my life. Yeah, we played that drop for about I don't know, about a year after that.
Yeah,
where is he? What happened to him?
I don't know. Somebody, for some reason, maybe it was some sort of anniversary of Sergio Dip or something, because it was all over my Twitter timeline. I don't understand my Twitter timeline either. So
yeah, I don't either. Well, you know what? It's funny you bring that up. I've seen a lot of this on this date in 2014 kind of stuff on Twitter now.
That's probably what it's from.
I gotta figure, like, when I go on Twitter, which I go on too often, but what you have to do is see, like, when you pull it up on your phone, for instance, it's going to have the For You icon on the left and then following on the right, like up in the top there.
Yep.
I have to constantly select following because the For You is the algorithm where they decide what they think you should see.
Yeah.
And I don't give a shit about what they think I should see. I want to see who I'm following. That's why I'm following them.
Yes.
So I
should say for them.
Yes.
Not for me, but for you.
Exactly. Yeah. And you know me with that. I'm like, fuck you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I started like muting accounts.
Me too. Because I see the same ones.
Yeah, and I'm going, I don't need to see this. I don't care.
Well, see, here's the thing. I figured that out too. It's like if you selected a tweet that you liked or you liked a tweet, even worse, then they're going to say, oh, well, this guy is going to like everything this person has to say. And then you constantly see everything they do in your feed. It's like, no, I don't like everything they do. I just like that thing that they said.
Yeah. I've decided.
I hate all this shit.
Yeah. I've decided now, Harry, I don't like anything.
I don't either. I don't want to like anything.
Because I don't want to give them the info that I like something.
Right.
I can like it by myself. I don't need to announce it anymore with a dumb heart.
And the other thing is, because I was doing this, I'm doing this golf pool, like a one and done pool. So I had to get the entry fees and everything from all these people. So I'm getting all these Venmos and PayPals and all this shit, right? And I do everything on there in private. Like, I don't need anybody seeing who I'm sending money to for whatever reason. But I noticed a lot of these people, they just love having all their information out there. Like, so-and-so paid so-and-so for this. Yeah. And how much
$350.
Yeah. And I'm like, why would you want people to know that?
Yeah. Why is it even an option to be public? It's transference of funds.
Right.
But it's the show me world, Harry.
It's so bizarre, man. I couldn't imagine growing up in this. Like, I'm already an old, salty, bitter guy. So I'm going to immediately blanch at all this stuff, right? Yeah. But if you're a younger person and you're growing up where this is just what happens, I'd imagine it's normal for you, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't know why anything financial ever needs to be disclosed.
No.
The terms.
Right.
You know what I mean? What are we going to start doing? Paying people on Venmo and people can look up what they got every other week?
Well, isn't that why the government hired all those new IRS agents? Aren't they going to be
to
looking
find
into
that
that?
out.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you look at it and go, if one of these companies like Venmo really wants to make a huge splash,
Mm-hmm.
they make a guy that, that's making one of these guys in Major League Baseball that's making 50 million a year, and they make his bi-weekly paycheck Venmoed so everybody can see how much he brings home. That'll bring a ton of pub to Venmo.
Wow. Yeah.
You
Well,
know what I mean? Or
I wouldn't want.
PayPal.
I just use it for little stupid stuff like, fantasy football stuff and all that kind
Yeah,
of junk.
transference. Yeah.
Right. $20 here, $20 there. But there was a football player. I think it was Russell Okung, the offensive lineman. When he hit free agency, I believe he signed, I forget where, it might have been the Panthers, and he wanted to be paid in Bitcoin. Do you remember that?
Good job, buddy.
Exactly. Yeah.
In crypto?
How'd that go?
Yeah, that
How'd
worked
that
out.
work? Yeah.
And now you're playing NFL football for free,
Right.
basically.
Right. Speaking of the NFL, obviously the Eagles, the big tilt this weekend against the 49ers, looking really forward to these championship games. I think both games are going to be wildly entertaining. Did you see their look-ahead lines for the possible Super Bowl matchups?
Oh, I did not see these, no.
Yeah, I put them out. I put it out. I got this from, I think it was Bet Online. Jimmy Shapiro sends those emails out, and the Eagles would be favorites in both of the matchups against the AFC teams, Cincinnati and Kansas City. They would be favored by 1.5 in each of those games.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. And then if the other matchups, if it's KC against San Francisco or Cincinnati against San Francisco, those games would be pick'em.
Okay. So they'd be straight. That's what they are now. I don't think they'll end up being a pick'em if that's the case. I don't.
Right. But I mean, that's the opening line.
Yeah. That's where they'll start.
Yeah. It might have already moved if you could wager on it.
Yeah. Did you see they want to move the championship games to a neutral site too? Did you see this?
Yeah. Well, that I'm so glad.
Never gonna happen.
Yes, it will. It will if they find a way that the owners are making more money, because that's all they give a shit about.
Yeah, but how are they going to replace the gate?
They don't care about the fans, like the real fans. Whether you got to get on a plane and fly 3 hours to watch what would have been a home game. They don't give a shit. They're playing games in London and in Munich, Germany, or whatever, in Mexico. They don't care. They're going to go wherever a big basket of money is. That's all they care about.
The problem with that, though, is at least for the Super Bowl, you have 2 weeks?
Yeah,
to get everything planned in 1 week. So you play your divisional round. On Sunday at 4:30,
like the Eagles beat the Giants.
Yeah, their game's over at 9:00 at night. You got 3 days to plan to get to a neutral site location.
Right.
Book a flight, book a hotel, up the nose for the price.
Right.
That's bananas to me.
Yep, it is. It is.
San Francisco's got to travel halfway across the country. That's advantage Eagles.
It is, but I wouldn't rule it out.
Yeah,
and because you're right. I think they were just using, never let a crisis go to waste. They always say, right? So the crisis was, Buffalo and Cincinnati didn't play the final game. So if Buffalo ended up playing Kansas City, they couldn't give it to Kansas City or Buffalo's home field. So we're going to play it in Atlanta. Well, thank God that game didn't happen, because I didn't want that. I want you play all year and play your bag off to get home field advantage.
Yeah.
And some of these places are real home field advantages, like Philadelphia
and Arrowhead,
Kansas City. Yes.
Yeah. I don't understand this incessant need to want to make things neutral sited. I don't get it. Super Bowl, we get it.
Right.
It's been that way. It is that way. That's great. It's a destination. You're going to put it somewhere, make it a whole thing.
Right. And you don't want the most important game of the year dictated by the weather, typically. I know they've moved them around. They had one in New York, and the weather wasn't so great, but because they want to reward these places that build new stadiums mostly. But in a dome, that game, I'm okay with that game played indoors somewhere or somewhere warm.
Yeah, I agree. I'm totally fine with that. I think the moving the championship game, though, is going too far. But this is the NFL. You're right. If owners overall can make more money. Now, the Eagles, this is their, 5th NFC championship game at Lincoln Financial Field. Home NFC championship game since 2002.
Well, the first one they played was in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And they lost.
And
then the next couple were at home. The next one, then they lost to Tampa Bay
At home.
That was at home. That was at the Vet.
So was Carolina.
Carolina, right? Wasn't that like 14-3 or something?
Yeah.
Carolina came in here and stuffed the Eagles.
Jake
and then the
Delhomme.
next year they beat Minnesota or Atlanta? I forget who was.
They beat Atlanta to go to the Super Bowl.
Atlanta, okay, yeah.
And they beat Minnesota in 2017.
And then the year that they lost in the championship game, that was in Arizona.
Yes.
A couple years after that.
2008.
Yeah.
And then they had the one here when they won the Super Bowl against Minnesota. And then this one this year is the fifth one. So 25% of the NFC Championship games since 2002 have been in Philadelphia.
And then if you want to go all the way back to 1981, that game was at the Vet.
Yeah.
They beat Dallas and then went on to lose in New Orleans to the Raiders.
Yeah, but I mean, for 25% of them over a 20-year period, 25% of the championship games to be in Philadelphia is pretty amazing.
It is. Yeah, it is.
You know, I mean, prior to that, we didn't have one in Philadelphia since 81 when they played the Dallas Cowboys.
And what a beatdown that was of the Giants, man. You talk about that team just being outclassed.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, all this
people that were nervous.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, come on. Do you know how bad that Minnesota defense is?
Yeah.
That the Giants,
shredded.
And, this Daniel Jones. I mean, come on. I hope they've signed Daniel Jones for 10 years.
Yeah, sign him in perpetuity.
Seriously. And Dak Prescott. I hope Dak Prescott and Daniel Jones are in Dallas and New York, respectively, for the next 10 years.
Yeah. Look, because they're not winners. Dak's not a winner. He's not good enough.
No, he's really not in a big spot. I mean, he had the 2 interceptions. The Niners really should not have had that touchdown drive, most likely. Did you see this?
No, what happened?
Remember the crazy catch that Kittle made where he's bobbling it and he finally gets control of it before the Dallas players tackled him? That was a huge play in what ended up being their only touchdown drive in the game, right? Well, you go back to it, and I heard Boomer Esiason talking about this, and he was talking with who's the official guy that they have in the booth for CBS? He used to be he used to be a college basketball official too. I forget his name. He's pretty good.
I mean, Steve Javie.
No. but he worked with Steve Javie.
Yeah.
But they're talking about the game, and if you look at the formation that the 49ers were in, it was an illegal formation.
Oh.
Kittle was off the line of scrimmage. So was Juszczyk, who was the fullback. He was split out sort of like a tight end. And then the wide receiver was off the line of scrimmage. So it was an illegal. Nobody was covering him up on the line of scrimmage. So there was that. And then he's technically an illegal receiver. So he's illegal man downfield and then touched the ball. It's an illegal touching. So there was a myriad of penalties that none of them were called.
Yeah.
Against the Niners on what ended up being the biggest play of the game.
Yeah, because it extends that drive and they go down and they score the touchdown.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. Well, I mean, Dallas at this point, I know Dan Orlovsky kind of went off on the Cowboys. And we saw that dumb video that Skip Bayless put out throwing the Dak jersey.
Oh, what a goof he is.
I mean, that was.
Yeah, what an actor that guy is.
Yeah,
wow.
What a
brilliance.
I mean, yeah, that guy. Dude, don't quit your shit job.
Oh, my God.
And, you see all this shit. And, like, a guy like Chris Sims is still, like, just shitting on Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
Like,
well, that's part of his brand now. I think that's his.
Yeah.
Just shit on Philadelphia. That's what he does.
But and that is a brand for some people.
It is.
They like to just shit on Philadelphia because they know that they'll get a reaction here.
Right.
We got to stop reacting.
I know
Anthony had a whole thing yesterday on the radio.
Wait a second.
Sir Ben was coming to town.
You're listening to Anthony?
And there was a video that was put out.
Oh, okay.
He was all angry because of all the criticism of the Philadelphia fans in regards to Ben Simmons. But because we mistreated him and he had mental issues and we caused it and the whole thing. And and he was, waiting for an apology. I thought it was funny though, because he was waiting for an apology for that. And he's a guy that, I mean, he blew Ben 6 ways to Sunday.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Wasn't he the Prodigy?
Yeah.
That's when he played a song from Prodigy, right?
Yes. Firestar.
Firestar. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a prodigy. Yeah, he's magic.
But it is funny though, because it's like no one likes us and we don't care was the mantra, right?
Yeah, but
When
no
that's
one likes us, but
totally
we do care.
incorrect. It's
Yeah,
totally incorrect. They couldn't care more
yeah, we
than
get
what
so
people
caught up
outside
in
of
it.
here think of everybody. Yeah, it's terrible.
But you know why it is? It's that Philadelphia inferiority complex.
Yeah.
And it's the one thing that Philadelphia fans all can unite around is the fact that, you know, everybody gets picked on, or we're the redheaded stepchild, or whatever it is, right?
Right.
What do you think happens this week against the 49ers? You think they get it done?
Well, everybody's waiting for the clock to strike midnight on Brock Purdy, and it almost did last week. I mean, that was the toughest defense that he had faced yet. Because if you go back and look at the games that Purdy has had to play in, the teams that they've beaten really haven't been all that good. Okay, so Dallas was a pretty good defense and held them to field goals. Like we just talked about, they drove for 1 touchdown in the game, and there was an illegal play that they got away with. So, this Eagles defense is better than Dallas's defense.
Yeah.
They get after the quarterback. How many sacks they have this year?
75, I think.
70 some. It's unbelievable. And plus, they've got really good defensive backs. The Eagles. We all know this. So if the Eagles are going to win this game, it's going to be, I think, their defense really limiting what Purdy and the Niners will be able to do. Now, if the Niners want to run on them or are able to run on them, that's going to change things.
Yeah.
As we know, Shanahan loves to run. I mean, he's not going to put Purdy back there 25, 30 times to throw it.
Yeah, that would work.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, that you got to be able to stop the run, and because that controls the clock too.
Right.
I just can't see Purdy, being able to go on the road in this situation and be able to handle it well enough for them to come away with the win if they can't run the ball.
Yeah. If they can't run the ball. Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if the Eagles can force Purdy to try and beat them, and I think the biggest key, Harry, is going to be to get up early in the game and force them to have to throw the ball.
Yeah, that would be ideal. Now, I will say, the Eagles ran all over the Giants. They did it up in the Meadowlands in December. They ran for like 250 yards as a team. Last week, you had Gainwell, having the big game, and they ran it for 200 plus against, with everybody combined. That's not going to happen this week.
No, you're
against
not
this Niners team.
No, you're absolutely right. It's going to Jalen Hurts is going to have to be great this week. And, the one thing about the Eagles, though, through this season, though, how we saw was the fact that in the first quarter or first halves, they were great offensively. Sometimes we were kind of lamenting that they didn't score any points in the second half.
Right.
They got away with it.
They didn't need to.
Yeah. I mean, to get out to a lead in this game, you're going to have to keep piling on. I mean, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago with that one game where you can't let your foot off the gas at all because
got to stay aggressive.
Yeah, you have to, or you're going to find a way to lose a game. So I don't know, man.
Look for AJ Brown to have a couple of big plays. Apparently, he was upset that he wasn't a bigger part of the offense, which that's the modern day athlete, I guess. Especially at that position, it's not about winning games so much as it is feed me the ball.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to lament that. But look for the coach because he's a player's coach. And I think he's going to try to work him into the game plan early.
Yeah, get him involved right away.
We do player props on my show with Eitan and Matt Cherico. So I'm going to, we'll be looking at some AJ Brown player props.
Yeah, some first half player props too. Get them going early. Let's tell people about wealth advisory services, Harry.
Oh shit! I don't even have my stuff with me.
Come on, are you prepared over there?
I'm not really prepared. I'm so busy talking about, sports,
player props,
and gambling and all kinds of shit. All right. Wealth Advisory Services. If you don't know them, you should. Paul, Dave, and the entire crew, they've got over 100 years of first-class service working with all different levels of investors across the country. And it's more than luck or coincidence that will bring financial independence. It's called planning. And as pros dedicated to continuing education with a high standard of ethics, they leave nothing to chance at Wealth Advisory Services. They'll coordinate with other trusted pros to ensure seamless management of your assets with services that range from portfolio management, insurance, tax, estate, and retirement planning and beyond. They're in Bucks County and Cape May, New Jersey. WealthAdvisoryServices.com, a personalized approach to managing your wealth.
So what are you doing for the game, Harry? You just be watching at home?
Yeah, that's what I always do. Yeah. I like to take notes, and I like to have my cocktails. I like to have the availability of a nice, clean bathroom.
Controlled environment.
Yes, very controlled environment. There's no traffic.
Yeah.
Leaving the house.
Yeah. Well, you hope
the
not.
game. Yeah.
John Clark's got something going on up the street there.
Well, he'll be working. He'll be down at the stadium. Yeah, he'll be in the bowels of the stadium.
Yeah.
Recording video of Brandon Graham walking off the field, yelling at people.
Yeah. Yelling at the media again.
Yelling at the media. Yeah.
Joey B says that there's video of Tom Brady at a Miami private school.
Oh, Joey B. Come on, you're smarter than that. His wife, Giselle, lives in Miami right now. So his kids are forced to be in Miami when they're with their mom. It has no bearing on Tom Brady's future.
You don't think he's going to the Dolphins?
Well, Harry? He might end up, but he's not. That's not what he's there for. He'd be there regardless of if he's going to play in Las Vegas next year. My point is, his kids have to spend time in Miami.
I have breaking news. Tom Brady just toured Malvern Prep. Harry.
Yeah, I thought it was Devon Prep when LeBron was coming.
No, that was Malvern. I didn't go to.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Remember when you did that?
Yep,
that was
hilarious.
That was hilarious.
LeBron at Malvern Prep. But like people love to read those tea leaves. That
I know.
This. He's going to go play here. Joe B thinks he's going to end up in Vegas though with McDaniels.
Yeah, he probably will if he decides to play. But also Nathaniel Hackett, he's going to be the offensive coordinator with the Jets. Is that what is that final?
Yeah, I don't know. He said everyone's laughing that Nathaniel Hackett to the Jets as the OC. I don't know if that's final.
Well, he was the head coach. He was a disaster as a head coach. That doesn't mean he's not a good offensive coordinator, though.
No, there's some guys that are like that.
There's plenty of guys like that.
Norv Turner, Harry, was a good coordinator, but not a great coach.
Not a great head coach. He did get teams to the playoffs.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean it.
Who are the other guys that were good coordinators? Chan Gailey. was a good coordinator.
Yeah, he was. Good
Jason Garrett was a decent coordinator, but a shit coach.
Yeah. You notice how you named 2 Dallas Cowboy coaches, right?
Yeah, that's the problem.
Actually, Norv Turner was a great offensive coordinator for the Cowboys.
Like with Aikman.
Yeah.
Yeah, with those teams.
Yeah, him and Wannstedt were the coordinators, and both of them obviously went on to get multiple jobs.
Yeah, Wannstedt was the head coach of the Chicago Bears, and then went back to college.
He looked like the mascot. He looked like a Mike Ditka, like with that mustache. He kind of looked like a bear.
Kind of like a cop.
Yeah,
get that cop look to him.
Yeah. Now, did you hear about this story? This somehow got past my filter because this is the kind of story that I would seize upon. Actually, in late December, I think this broke about the Chiefs fan. Did you hear about this? This Chiefs-aholic is what he goes by on Twitter. He actually trademarked the term or the name Chiefs-aholic. And he's a dude who's been to every Chiefs game, home and away, for like the last 7 years, they say.
All right.
And it was like a big deal on social media. He'd dress up for the games in the wolf pack. He'd wear a big wolf's mask over his head. And wore the jersey and, was like all over social media.
One of the super fans. Yeah.
Yeah. Super fan. I think even the organization might've done some things. Well, like they recognized him as being like the super fan kind of. They put him on the Jumbotron and his
kind of like Sean from
exactly.
Shoulder Pads guy. Yeah.
But Sean, I don't think is robbing banks to fund their love and fandom of their
this
football
guy's
team.
robbing banks.
This dude was arrested in Oklahoma in late December. The fans noticed that he wasn't at the Houston Texans game. I think that was a road game in Houston. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the fans noticed that this guy wasn't there. And all of a sudden Reddit blew up and social media, like people wondering what happened to him because he never misses a game. Turns out he was arrested in Oklahoma for robbing a bank, wearing a mask, not the wolf mask, though, some other mask. And this is how he was funding his gambling and the, tickets, season tickets, and all the
Yeah,
road
to
trips
go all
and
the road
everything.
trips, yeah.
He'd rob banks.
Wow. This
And
is
it
gonna be a
turns
great
out
movie.
he's homeless. He claims now he's homeless, that he's been busted and hasn't worked a real job since 2020.
Wow.
His name
This
is
is some kind of great
Xavier.
movie.
I know, like a 30 for 30 or something. His name's Xavier Michael Babudar.
Wow.
And I saw the picture
Babudar.
of him, and it's crazy.
Wow.
I mean, he would be questioned on Twitter, people, because he put up his bet slips and every parlay that he was working on, $1,000 parlay that would get him 58 grand or whatever. And people saying, man, what kind of a job do you have that you can afford to bet this way? And he'd say, I hustle in private, was his response.
Yeah.
You
rob
hustle.
banks.
All right. Robs
Yeah.
banks. It's fucking nuts.
That is awesome. What a great story.
Yeah.
This guy, not Xavier McDaniel.
No.
The X-Man, Harry.
The X-Man.
Yeah.
He went. I think he was a Wichita State guy. The X-Man.
Is that right?
I think so.
My son's middle name's Xavier.
Is it? That's a good name.
Yeah.
I like that name.
Which X? What the hell was that? Jesus Christ! There's a huge.
Yeah, I heard it.
Boom out there. I have no idea what that was. My neighbor didn't drive through the garage or something. Let's tell everybody about Som Sleep, Harry.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got to get Som. That's what you got to do. GetSom.com if you're having trouble getting enough sleep at night. Som Sleep has you covered. The scientifically advanced Som stack includes ingredients that are naturally found right now in your body, like GABA, magnesium, and melatonin. Sleep is obviously the best form of recovery. It's helped N4L founder, our buddy Colin Thompson, take his game to the next level in the NFL. And it's simple. All you got to do is drink one serving just 30 minutes before bed, and your body's going to naturally calm itself down. Other sleep supplements, they're going to leave you groggy in the morning, but not Som Sleep. You'll wake up feeling refreshed and ready to conquer the day. Make sure you check them out at getsom.com. Use our code GEEZ, Jeez, for 10% off your order.
How was the game at the Reading barn there, Harry, for the Jazz performance? And
well, I went up to the hockey game, and they played Adirondack.
Okay,
and they had
Reading Royals.
Yeah, the Reading Royals. They had played Adirondack the night before, Friday night, and beaten them. Reading's pretty good this year. I think they're second in the league.
Okay.
And Adirondack's not that good. They're a Devils. I believe they're a Devils franchise. Affiliate. So we go to the game, and my nephew is playing the drums in the jazz band that was playing in the concourse, and they played a couple of songs, and it was good. And then we all went into the game, and I'd never been in this little arena before, but it was I think 5,000 seats, maybe. Small
it's a cool
place.
Little spot.
It's cool though, and so there's not a bad seat in the house. And I watched the first 2 periods. My wife convinced me to stay for the second period because I wanted to go home and watch football.
Yeah. You made it through 2 periods of the game.
It was the Niners-Seattle game that I was checking on my phone as I'm watching the game. So we leave, and they're losing 1-0. And they had shown no offense whatsoever. I get home and looked it up on the phone. Somehow I found it. They won 3-1. Apparently, they came out gangbusters in the third period and scored.
Tore the door off, Harry.
No, I didn't see one of them.
They tore the door off the room.
Is that what you call it?
For the third, yeah.
Maybe Tortorella came in and then gave him the speech in between the second and third period.
Told him to stiffen up. If you're not going to be stiff, I'm telling you right now, you're not going to play.
Is that what he says?
Yes.
Oh man,
he's got his own terminology that he uses. Like he calls the D zone the end zone. Well, we're stuck in our end zone. It's funny. I talked to him yesterday. He's on today's Flyers Daily Pod.
Mm-hmm.
I think the dude's an absolute riot. And he does this thing with the hockey and hounds.
Oh, okay.
So
he's a big dog, like a rescue dog guy, right?
Yeah, big time. And I'm talking to him about hockey, and as soon as I get to the dogs, he lights up.
Mm-hmm.
He wants to talk about the dogs. He doesn't want to talk about hockey.
Right.
But he's doing a good job. I mean, the team's been since the winter break or since the holiday break, the Flyers have the second best points percentage in the NHL.
Is that right?
Only behind the Bruins, who beat them 6-0 too.
Yeah, the Bruins they're a wagon.
Oh, unbelievable. this year how good they are.
I actually bet a couple hockey games this past
Is that
week.
right?
Yeah, and I went 2-0 so far in the NHL. I took Rick Tocchet and the Vancouver Canuck in his debut against the pathetic Blackhawks.
Yep.
And they won the game, I think, 5-2. That was my first winner. And then I went against them 2 nights later against the Kraken in Seattle. The Kraken had just played 4 games in 6 days and went like 1-3. Like they had lost 3 games after a big win streak. And then they had a couple of days off. And Vancouver was coming in off a back-to-back. And I'm like, they're going to get smacked. They lost 6-1.
Wow.
The Kraken.
Talk right back to reality quick.
Exactly.
There, huh?
Yeah. Who's on the Kraken? They're a good squad.
Yeah, well, they are pretty good. You know who the coach is? Dave Hackstall, the former Flyer coach.
No way.
Yes, Hack got that job. He's doing a really good job. He's one of the guys that they're saying is going to be up for the Jack Adams to win the Coach of the Year.
Jack Adams Award. Why wouldn't that be called the Scotty Bowman Award or something?
Yeah. I mean,
Who's
I don't know.
Jack Adams? When did he coach? In 1930?
Yeah, probably.
Was he a Canadians coach or something?
Yeah.
Back in the day?
I'm sure. I don't even know. The fact that I don't know.
You don't even know who he is?
Yeah, it should be Scotty Bowman's left wing lock coach of the year. Harry.
That's right. That's what it should be called.
The left wing lock. The great neutral zone defense of the left wing lock.
Oh man.
Well, there's variations of that still being run now, but you're right. It should be named after Scotty Bowman.
Yeah, you got to update that, man. Come on.
I know we got like the King Clancy Award and the Norris Trophy. Not Fred Norris, but
now the Norris, is that for the best defenseman?
Yeah, but it's basically the best defenseman that gets the most points.
Okay. So it's not about defensive defenseman. No. It's about offensive defenseman.
Yeah, guys like Eric Carlson or Brent Burns or Dobby Robin Yossi. Those kind of guys win.
Right.
Yossi had like 96 points, so he won it. So let's tell everybody about Shots and Giggles, Harry.
Now, Shots and Giggles. Now, do you have the copy for that? Because I got to find that.
I do not have that, Harry.
You got nothing. Like, no, are you really even a part of this anymore? I'm sensing.
You take care of all the ads. I take care of all the technical elements of uploading and editing and all that.
Oh, okay. Well, it's that time of year. The cold, blistering weather is here. It's very windy today. Yes, it's freezing outside. It's time to migrate to the southernmost city in the continental United States, and that's Key West, Florida. Our friends over at Shots and Giggles have the go-to locals and wannabe locals bar in Key West. Right behind Sloppy Joe's, nestled next to Tattoos and Scars Saloon, right off Green Street. Shots and Giggles is known for a relaxed atmosphere. I don't think there is any other atmosphere down there. Cold drinks and always having the game on any of their 5 TVs. Owners Steve and Hanya have been based down in Key West for over 18 years. They enjoy the sunshine and the small town feel. But even though Steve is from San Jose, California, you'll often see him around town in an Eagles jersey. And Hanya, she's a diehard Commanders fan from Annapolis, Maryland, but she also wears an I Hate Dallas t-shirt. So she's cool with Eagle people. When you're down in the Keys this winter, stop by Shots and Giggles, hang out with some of the awesome bartenders, grab a drink to go from the takeout window. That sounds like a good time. You walk around on the streets drinking and watch some football at the southernmost NFC East bar, Shots and Giggles.
There you go.
How about that?
That's good stuff. So, championship game this weekend. Greasing up the polls, I'm sure, this weekend.
Oh, yeah. And it's the early game, too. It's the 3:00 game.
Yeah. So that's good.
Yeah. Last time when they played the Giants last week, they apparently weren't letting people. It was a night game, 8:15 start, but they weren't letting people into tailgate until like 4 PM
because of the Wings game.
Well, no, but that's what people did to get around it. They bought a ticket to the Wings game, probably didn't go into the game, and then started drinking at noon.
Yeah, there was one guy that posted a picture on social media of him in the parking lot at 7:30 a.m. and said, "Where is everybody?" Dude, 7:30. The game started at 8:15 that night. That's 13 hours prior to kickoff.
I wonder how many times he went to the Porta John.
Oh my God!
You know, between now and when the game started.
Oh, just buckled.
Oh,
Jesus! I mean, that's ridiculous.
It is.
I mean, that's way too early. I mean, be out there all day. I mean, I don't care if you got a RV or whatever you got. I mean, that's a long day.
Yeah, the RV is the way to go, though.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's the way to go. And did you see the pizza kerfluffle?
No.
Well, I think it was before. Was it before the Giants game?
Oh, Pizza Hut.
Sirianni came out and said that he and the coaches and I don't know if the players were involved or not, but he and the coaches were eating stuffed crust Pizza Hut pizza.
Yeah, people freaked out.
Well, I love Pizza Hut. There's not one. There's not one around here anymore. They've all closed down. I think I'd have to drive to like Lancaster or something to find a Pizza Hut. But I used to love it. But that's not the official pizza of the NFL. So somebody got to him and said, yo, Holmes, you can't be saying you're eating Pizza Hut pizza because Little Caesars is paying millions of dollars to the NFL to be the official pizza of the NFL.
Oh, so I'd rather eat the box than Little Caesars.
I know, yeah, Pizza Hut kills Little Caesars. I mean, come on.
I don't like that either, but still.
Yeah, well, so somebody must have gotten to him, and I'm thinking, I think it was Tim McManus, our buddy, was in the press conference this week and asked the question. I don't know if he was told to ask it, but he asked him about pizza, if there was any pizza eaten, and he said, yeah. And what kind? Oh, Little Caesars.
Oh,
so they got to him.
They did. He's been bought.
Yes.
Wow, that's unbelievable. Well, people were outraged that he said Pizza Hut with all the great but
right.
I mean, what is he going to say? Gianfranco's on 4th and South?
Yeah. You know? Yeah, because then if he says that one, 15,000 idiots are going to say, no, this place has got the best pizza. Like, he's not going to win.
Yeah. Lorenzo's or this or that. Yeah, you can't find it.
You can't win.
Yeah. I mean, and then really good places, you get what's Tacanelli's. You can't get pizza unless you whatever.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. All right, let's what's great? Pizza and fudge.
Yeah, after you eat the pizza, then you get the fudge. The official sponsor of Not For Long Media and the Odd G's podcast. Original Fudge Kitchen is a staple of the Jersey Shore. 6 locations: Cape May, Wildwood, Stone Harbor, and Ocean City. The Original Fudge Kitchen, they make all their fudge right in the store, so that's going to guarantee a delicious product each and every time. Stop in and let them know that N4L sent you. But if you're not able to get there in person, it's not a problem. Valentine's Day coming up. You can ship across the USA. Be sure to check them out at fudgekitchens.com. The Original Fudge Kitchen, shipping fudge and sweet treats all across the USA.
There we go. All right, let's wrap that up there, Harry. We'll see if we're celebrating a trip to the Super Bowl next week. Any last words you have for anybody?
You better have something next week, man.
I know.
I'm telling you what. This is one. You know what this was like? This was like when we do the 4-hour show and the clock would strike 1 o'clock and I have to get you from 1 to 2 o'clock.
Yeah, we just got to 2 o'clock.
Mikey Miss coming up.
Mike Miss coming up next. Pat Egan produced. We'll see if he books so-and-so guests tomorrow. All right, that's episode 49. Leave us. We get some rating and reviews we can read next week too.
Okay, good. Well, episode 50, we got to read the reviews.
Yeah, we'll do an episode.
It's a milestone.
First 50.
Right. Can we do a best of hour?
Yeah, maybe we will. Put that together today. Just send me the reads. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you next week on the Geez podcast.